freelance film worker. He also was a private investigator. Dave Walker...
I'm sorry, was this all simultaneously?
No, but through his...
Different parts of his life.
Different parts of his life. And sometimes these different parts of his life crossed over as well. Many of Dave Walker's friends have been, carrying this secret with us. Partly because we were afraid to reveal it because, one, we've been assured by the Canadian government that everything was being done to find Dave Walker and to ensure that the Cambodians are investigating this openly and professionally. And yet, to this day, Dave Walker's belongings are still, although under police seal, they're still in the hotel room. They have not been sequestered by the police. The Cambodian police have not declared this a criminal investigation. They keep handling this as if it's a missing persons investigation. And we are now beginning
to get... The body has been positively identified,
The body has been positively identified, and we're already getting a sense that a next cover-up is coming because this, every big lie...
Of what?
Of what has happened to Dave Walker and the sort of inefficiency of the investigation. Every big lie begins with a small truth, and the small truth is, indeed, I've seen the photographs of Dave's body that were emailed to me, and indeed, there are no visible signs of trauma, but nobody says that there are no visible signs of trauma because his body is in a very advanced state of decomposition. It's been in the jungle, animals had gotten into it. And so somehow that context is not made. Dave Walker needs a very serious autopsy now. The other thing I want to confirm, and the Canadian government has known this certainly since when I informed Mr. Parizeau, who is the desk officer for Southeast Asia, that Dave Walker had a relationship with the Canadian Security Intelligence Service, CSIS. In particularly, Dave Walker was involved in advising them on possibilities of war criminals and Khmer Rouge gangsters, terrorists infiltrating into Canada through the refugee system.
From Cambodia?
From Cambodia. As you know, Canada has taken in many Cambodian refugees.
So you do know that thousands of Canadians have a relationship with CSIS?
I know that Dave Walker had a desk officer. I have his card right here in my pocket. I called this number, and a new officer on that desk responded. 2 weeks after I called, I was debriefed. I was urged not to reveal this, and Dave Walker's friends know this, and the only reason we've kept this quiet is because we feared that Dave Walker was being held alive, and revealing this would have put him in bigger danger.
If I can back you up a little bit, why would the Canadian government take such an interest and speak with his friends when he was just a missing person?
That's something I think Canadian journalists need to be asking the Canadian government. I think that's a question that should be asked in Parliament
tomorrow morning. Are you suggesting that while in Cambodia he was in fact working for CSIS?
That would be impossible because CSIS does not operate overseas. What I'm saying is that we were assured that Dave Walker would get the kind of attention from the Canadian government that a former person who served for Canada deserves. Dave Walker is being treated as some tourist or some retiree who bumbled his way into Cambodia not knowing what he was doing. And children found Dave Walker, not the Cambodian police. And where is Canadian Foreign Affairs pressing the Cambodian police to make this a criminal investigation and ask the Canadians to come in? I've been in touch with Edmonton Police weekly, who are the Canadian agency of record because Dave's family comes from there. They are frustrated that they are absolutely unable to do anything through Canadian investigative channels. The Cambodians have not communicated with Edmonton Police since March. Nothing.
March.
Zero. Silence. March.
You would think there might be a communication now.
We would hope so. But already we are sensing from the kind of spin that the Cambodians are putting on this that there are no signs of trauma, and we can't say that this is a homicide. As I say, every big lie begins with a small truth, and indeed there is truth in what they're saying, but the context of the state of his body has not been pointed out, and the circumstances of his disappearance.
Yeah. Now, you are pointing out to us that he had a connection with CSIS and
Yes.
that he died in Cambodia.
Yes.
Are you saying there's a link between those two things?
I can't say that. I know that that many of fugitives from Cambodia and Khmer Rouge people from Cambodia came to Canada. They made a fortune here, and many of them have returned to Cambodia. We have all sorts of suspects around Dave who we're aware of. Some of them are Cambodian Canadians. Certainly I'm not going to name them.
Okay, but you're talking about some murky waters here that we don't know, we don't understand. So we're running out of time, as you can. Mr. Vronsky, how do we get to a place where we understand?
We need
get the answers. Who has to do this? We need
foreign affairs, and we need print journalists to begin asking, where have they been for the last 10 weeks? I appreciate how television works, that you can only bring me on for a few minutes, but where are our print journalists? I mean, the moment, we pushed this Dave disappeared, but nobody has been asking what has happened in week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5, 10 weeks. Dave has vanished until his body appears, and already a spin is coming.
You have greater faith in print journalists than you do in foreign affairs?
I have faith in transparency, and I have faith in the Fifth Estate that Parliament is accountable and our government is accountable to its citizens, and particularly citizens who served our country. And Dave was such a citizen. He deserves the best, not the children found him.
Yeah. Peter Vronsky is a friend, former colleague, and of Dave, as we say. Right now an international relations professor at Ryerson University. Stunning story tonight, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
More news straight ahead. Please stay with us.